action. Good morning, happy wake and bake. How are you? Take your pills, right? And then get your keep other people alive juice. Because Supersonic is here and it's Saturday. Hi, Super. Do you want to come say hi to me and my imaginary computer friends? Well, they're not imaginary. They're sitting on the other side of this here camera. So you want to come say hi? You need a spoon in the dishwasher. Check in the other dishwasher. This one right here. Oh, good job. Do I have a spoon? Oh, I do have a spoon. But anyway, this little munchkin is supersonic. She has pink hair, and I have blue hair. Can you come in here and do your face with me so they can see your hair? That is pink and black-ish. Nobody can see your hair under a helmet.
It's right here. The top part is brown.
Okay, you want to see if you look like me? Look, you'd be able to tell right now. Hey, if you look like me, you're B-A-U. No, B-E-A-U. Beautiful. Oh, well, I was going to say B-E too beautiful, but we just fucked the whole thing up because why not? Anyway, this is Supersonic, and I wanted her to say good morning because, good morning, Supersonic.
I didn't know Julia.
Who's Romeo?
Serena.
Oh, really?
And Romeo's a girl.
Romeo's a girl?
Yeah, the Romeo in my class is played by a girl. Sierra.
Do you know back in the day when they originally started doing plays, it was men that were women because women couldn't do the whole arts thing. So drag queens were back in the day too. But they did it for money. Figure out how to do that. Uh, Drag queen people go on Broadway. Start doing plays. Be like, I'm your leading lady. It might work because some of you trans people are fucking beautiful, but just you'll never be a woman. Be like that White Town song. I can never be a woman. That was so mean, but I don't give a shit. It's true. Uh-oh, somebody's cussing. It's at the video game, That's so silly.
I'm sure it was at Ethan. I didn't go put his job application.
Oh, we should do that. Anyway, how's your job search going?
I think I might work at
Oh, man. Punishment time. Yeah. You should go pick up your broom while he's mad, so he's not mad anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you're done, of course. But anyway, I gotta read my book.
You never let me tell you about. Wait, hold up.
Oh, tell me about stuff.
Hold up.
Okay, I'm holding. Baby, hold on to me. That's a hell of a song. And whenever this teenager gets done being a teenager, we're gonna find out what she wants.
All the highlighted parts in this book are all Juliet's parts. And those are all the parts that I have to read. There's a bunch of highlighted parts in here. I have to read all of it.
Really? And then you gotta memorize it?
No. Just gotta read it from the book. Really?
I thought you were doing the play.
No, we're just reading it.
You're just reading it? Okay.
She stops herself for a boy.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Don't ever do that. No dick is worth your life.
She met him 6 days ago. 9.
Yeah, don't ever do that. It may seem like your family is worse than dick, but it's not. You're just a girl. It's such a terrible song. Anyway, we are on Maccabees chapter 6. And actually, I can't remember if this is Old Testament or not because this seems like it's Old Testament. As one man, the third son of the priest, secluded kings. Okay, is this before Jesus? Accounts of events that accompanied the attempt in the 2nd century before Christ. Well, then why did she tell me to read this after? Hold on. It says it's ancient heroes, but it's still before Christ. Why didn't I read this in the Old Testament? Okay, it's the origin of Hanukkah. Okay. Jews or Gentiles who would destroy it. The 1st century have always been accepted by the Catholic Church. Okay. Okay. They're Deuteronical. So this is really back in the day at the time of Moses. Hold on. Deuteronical to indicate they are canonical. Oh my god. Hold on. Okay. Individual's name and fame. Nor does the book express any messianic expectation. Hold on. The author insists on fidelity to the law as an expression for love for God, and the contest which he describes is a struggle, not simply between those who his severest condemnation goes not to the secluded politicians, but to the lawless apostates among his own. Non-inspired scripture. because it's not contained in the Jewish list of books. Okay, so I don't know. It doesn't say anything about anything. Ah, but Mattathias, wasn't that it's a Jesus priest? I don't know. I don't know. But okay. As King Antiochus passed through the eastern provinces, he heard that in Persia there was a city Elam, famous for its wealth in silver and gold, and that its temple was very rich, containing gold helmets, breastplates, and weapons left there by the first king of the Greeks, Alexander, son of Philip, king Macedon, king of Macedon. So, is it three people or like Alexander? But why is there a comma? I don't know. It seems like it might be written about three different dudes. There shouldn't be a comma. He went, therefore, and tried to capture and loot the city, but he could not do so because his plan became known to the people of the city. Yeah, you don't think there's always a snitch who rose up and, okay, the people rose up in battle against him, and he fled, and in great dismay withdrew from there to return to Babylon. See, this makes me think it's like Old Testament. But obviously it's not in the time of Nebuchadnezzar. Maybe King Claudius, after Claudius. Oh my god. I wish I could read the timeline. I'm not even sure what I'm looking for. And I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I don't know how to read it. I don't know when this is. You know what? We can look. Why don't we look? Here we go. This is King Antioch the First. Okay, define. Cert. It's Antiochus. Alright, let's search for this dude. King of the Sel- secluded Sa- Seleucid Empire. Okay, so when was he king? Okay, so this is before Christ. So why did my mom tell me to read this book after? Wow, I want to call my mom and say, what the fuck? I Nikki K the first. Nikki K the first, the great. I'm mostly just kidding, but not really. Because I am Nikki K the Great, the first, the only. Okay, so this is before Christ, so why did my mom have me read this in the New Testament? I don't get it. But some of these names are New Testament names. Okay. So we heard that this was all good, and then they fucked him up. So then he went back to Babylon. While he was in Persia, a messenger brought him news that the armies that had gone into Judah had been routed. This word should be destroyed. They were destroyed. They had that ass spanked. That Lysias had gone first with a strong army and driven back, and that people of Judah had grown strong by reason of the arms, wealth, and abundant spoils from the enemy they had cut down. That they had pulled down the abomination which he had built upon the altar in Jerusalem. And they had surrounded with high walls both the sanctuary, like before, and his city, Bezer. Bezer. When when the king heard this news, he got the vapors and turned emo. And there he remained many days, assailed by waves of grief, for he thought he was going to die. So do all teenage girls when they don't get their way. They're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. Yeah, so this dude was acting like a teenage girl. And then he called in all of his friends and said, sleep has departed from my eyes, and my heart sinks from anxiety. I said to myself, into what tribulation have I come? And in what floods of sorrow am I now? You're being a teenage girl on her period. You just need a tampon and some Midol. Anyway, yet I was kindly and beloved in my rule. Were you though? I don't think you were, but were you though? I don't think you were. But I guess if you're talking about trying to destroy the Jews, that was kind of kind, but it didn't work. But now I recall the evils I did in Jerusalem when I carried away all the expensive shit that was in it, and for no cause gave orders that the inhabitants of Judah be destroyed. You may not know the cause, but the cause hides in all people. That these people are fucking terrible. So there was definitely a reason, even if you don't know what it is. I know that this is why these evils have overtaken me. And now I am dying in bitter grief in a foreign land. Are you, though? I'm sure if you got up and quit being a girl, He would be just fine at the end of the day, asshole. Then he summoned Philip, one of his friends, and gave him everything. The thing that makes his head look like a lampshade wind chime, his robe, his signet ring, so that he might guide the king's son, Antiochus, and bring him up to be king. So he tells Philip, hey, Philip, you're king until, little dude is able to become king. Although, back in the old days, little dude became king at like 8 years old. So he could just be king. Anyway. So Antiochus died there in the year 149. See, whoa, why did my mom tell me to read this second? This is so Old Testament. Like literally Old Testament. I don't get it. I should have read this one in the beginning. What the fuck? When Lysias learned the king was dead, he set up for the king's son, Antiochus Jr., who he had reared as a child, to be king in his place, and he gave him the title Eu. So hold on, EU, arithmetics. So this would be Eupator. Okay, we're just going with that. Eupator. Siege up the citadel. Those in the citadel were hemming Israel and around the sanctuary, continually trying to harm them and strengthen the Gentiles. Then you should just go back and do a census like they used to do. Okay. And so Mac planned to destroy them and assembled the people to besiege them. So in the 150th year, they assembled and besieged the citadel, for which purpose he constructed platforms and siege engines. Wow. So how did this work? Back in the old days, what's an engine, though? Is it the thing that does the catapults? Okay. Some of the besieged escaped, and some renegade Israelites joined them. Right here. They went to the king and said, how long will you fail to do justice and avenge our kin, and avenge our kin? We agreed to serve your father and to follow his orders and obey. And for this, our own people have become our enemies, and they have put to death as many of us as they could find, and have seized our inheritances. They have acted aggressively, not only against us, but throughout their whole territory. Look, today they have besieged the citadel in Jerusalem in order to capture it, and they have fortified the sanctuary of Bezer. Unless you act quickly to prevent them, they will do even worse things, and you will not be able to stop them. No, feral Israelites are like little werewolves. Yeah, well, the Judeans, they're like fucking werewolves. And back at this time in the Old Testament, when I was reading the Old Testament, I was calling the Israelites vampires and the Judeans werewolves because I couldn't figure out who was who. So, so these Israelites are like fucking vampire. Well, the Judeans are like werewolves. So I'm sure they tore these people all sorts up. You should read about them battles in the Old Testament. They are insane. We're getting there, Nikki. Shut up. When he heard this, he was enraged and called together all of his friends. The officers, yeah, but what king are they talking to? What king? What king? The little 8-year-old? Okay. So he called everybody together. Everybody. His army numbered 100,000 foot soldiers, 20,000 cavalry, and 32 elephantes trained for war. They passed through the Idumea and camped before Bezer. For many days they attacked it. They constructed siege engines, but the besieged made a sortie and burned these, and they fought bravely. Who's attacking who though? What the fuck is it? Okay, so the king. Okay, and then mercenaries came and his army. Okay, so is this the king's army? They passed through and camped before Bezer. Okay, Bezer is where Max at. So they attacked it and they also constructed siege engines. But the besieged made a sortie and burned these, and they fought bravely. What is a sortie? Again, people probably know, but I don't know. So we're going to find out, okay? It says an attack made by troops coming out from a position or defense. Okay, so they made a sortie, but the besieged made a sortie and burned these. What are they? The siege engines, and they fought bravely. Who fought bravely? Okay, we're gonna guess. And then the besieged, they made a sortie and burned these engines and fought bravely. Okay, we're just gonna assume that's what that means because I can't figure out they and them or whatever. So I will be right back. Oh, press like and subscribe. Yeah, press like and subscribe, and I will be right back. Okay, so everything is back. Is Bashir, Bezer, uh, there's another one, it's Beth S. It's Beth something. And this one is Beth Zechariah. Who the fuck is Beth? Okay. Then Judas marched away from the citadel and moved his camp to Beth Zechariah, opposite the king's camp. The king, rising before dawn, moved his force along the road to Beth Zechariah, and the troops prepared for battle and sounded the trumpet. Ah, Mr. President Trump, you are in you are in the part of the battle that sticks and stones. Blow the trumpet. Talk your shit, right? Don't cuss. Don't talk shit. Talk smack. But blow the trumpet. Pray. Blow the trumpet. And then say stop. God will tell you what to say. They made the elephants drunk on the juice of grapes and mulberries to get them ready to fight. So they get why would it say the juice of grapes and mulberries? At the time I don't think they knew the word wine. Maybe they did, but I don't know. But they got these elephants drunk and ready to trample on shit. The beasts were distributed along the phalanxes. Is this a flank? They were distributed along the flanks. I don't know. These people use words. I have no fucking idea. Okay? So we're going to find out what it is. A body of heavily armed infantry in ancient Greece formed in close, deep ranks, and Philessa body of troops in close array. So they put the elephants on the like toughest. Okay. Each elephant having assigned to it 1,000 men in coats of mail with bronze helmets on and their bronze helmets on their heads and 500 picked cavalry. These accompanied the beast wherever it was. However it moved, and they never left it. Each elephant was outfitted with strong wooden tower fastened to it. Oh, this is like Lord of the Rings. Remember the Lord of the Rings? Yes, they had that tower on it. Arrow guys. Yeah, this is like Lord of the Rings. Each tower held 3 soldiers who fought from it beside the Indian River. The remaining cavalry were stationed on one or the other of the 2 flanks of the army to harass the enemy and to be protected by the phalanxes. When the sun shone on the gold bronze shields in the mountains, gleamed with their brightness and blazed like flaming torches. They're gonna get it! Part of the king's army spread out along the heights, while some were on the low ground. They marched forward steadily in good order. This guy has a good strategy. This is a good strategy. All who heard of their numbers, the tramp of their marching, and the challenging of the arms, trembled, for the army was very great and strong. Judas, with his army, advanced to fight, and 600 men of the king's army fell. Eleazar called Avaran and saw one of the beasts covered with royal army and bigger than any of the others. So he thought the king was on it. He gave up his life to save his people and win an everlasting name for himself. So this guy has Jesus complex too. He dashed courageously upon it in the middle of the phalanx, killing men right and left, so they parted before him. He ran under the elephant and stabbed and killed it. Okay, so this guy is like Legolas. The beast fell to the ground on top of him and he died there. I don't want to vote like, I don't want to cheer for a rebel, but that guy shouldn't have been a rebel. That guy should have been king. And because he did it, he did it right. He really did. But when Judah's troops saw the strength of the royal army and the ardor of its forces, they retreated. Here we go. The siege of Jerusalem. Some of the king's army went up to Jerusalem to attack him, and the king established camps in Judea and at Mount Zion. You Zion people should go there and set up shop because I'm not the place you want to go. You can go there. There's a map in the Bible. It tells you all about this place and where it's at. You should go there. He made peace with the people of Bethsur, and they evacuated the city because they had no food uh, to enable them to withstand a siege. For that was Sabbath year in the land. Oh, this is the seventh year. The king took Bethsur and stationed a garrison there to hold it. For many days he besieged the sanctuary, setting up platforms and siege engines, fire throwers, catapults, and mechanical bows for shooting arrows and projectiles. If this is a Sabbath year, and this king is a Jew, oh, never mind, the king isn't a Jew. Never mind. The defenders countered by setting up siege engines of their own and kept up the fight a long time. But there were no provisions in the storerooms because it was the seventh year, and the reserves had been eaten up by those who had been rescued from the Gentiles and brought to Judea. They're killing you from the inside, dude. That's where the Jews learned it. They're killing America from the inside. New men remained in the sanctuary because of the. Okay. Few men remained in the sanctuary because the famine was too much for them. The rest scattered, each to his own home. Probably to make your own food. Like that would be smart. To make your own food. I say that, but this year I did not make a garden. But here in a few weeks, I'm starting a garden because I should have been doing that this year and I didn't. Okay. Lysias heard that Philip, whom King Antioch, before his death, had appointed to train his son to be king, and returned to Persia and Media. Okay. So Media is in Palestine. Well, Philistine. No. No. Iran. Media is in Iran. And I'm not exactly sure where Persia is. with the army that accompanied the king, and that he was seeking to take over the government. Okay. So Antioch returned. Oh, Philip had returned to Persia with the army that accompanied the king, and that he was seeking to take over the government. He was told to. He was told to, but okay. So he hastily decided to withdraw. He said to the king, the leaders of the army, and the soldiers, we are growing weaker every day. Our provisions are scant. The place where we are besieging is strong, and it is our duty to take care of the affairs of the kingdom. Therefore, now let us come to terms with these people and make peace with them and their nation. Let us grant them freedom according to their own laws as formerly. This is what they did in New York, ain't it? This is why they have their own police force, right? Although the force, I heard something about that, but I'm betting it's something like this. Let them have freedom to do what they want. That's how all of them do it. Okay. It was on account of their laws, which we abolished, that they became enraged and did all these things. The proposal pleased the king and the leaders. He sent peace terms to the Jews, and they accepted. So the king and the leaders swore an oath to them, and on these terms the Jews evacuated the fortification. But when the king entered Mount Zion and saw how the place was fortified, he broke the oath he had sworn and gave orders to tear down the encircling wall. Then he parted in haste and returned to Antioch, where he found Philip in control of the city. And he fought against him and took the city by force. Who was the king? Were they talking about little dude this whole time? Okay. He returned to Antioch. So I guess it's a place. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to go back and watch all these videos because I have no idea what's happening. Because I'm a retard. Um, Here we go. This is how we get home, I guess. Maybe that was the point of it. How Rome became in power. Okay, shut up, Nikki. We're not there yet. We're not there. Okay. So, good morning. Thank you for watching. I hope you took your pills. And if not, take your pills. Especially your afternoon pills. You should take them. Anyway, I love you. And thank you for watching. You are absolutely amazing. So, have the greatest day ever. Cheers.